the metal reviews. Borderlands, the pre-sequel.
Yay!
A little late on this. Been announced for about 2 weeks now, I think, maybe.
Something like
But
that.
fuck it, who cares? We are huge Borderlands fans. Borderlands 2 is personally one of my favorite games of all time. And so we're here to talk about this. This game's coming out later this year, only for last-gen consoles, so the PS3, 360, and PC for some reason. But whatever.
Probably because they had the coding and all set.
Yeah, I heard that it was because, for whatever reason, at least right now, the art style for Borderlands 2 just didn't sync up well with next gen. And then also they figured, we have a really good engine install base. We can just milk it for one more game.
Yeah.
So
basically, this game, it's set on the moon instead of Pandora. You're on Handsome Jack's side this time, and there's 4 new classes. There's a whole bunch of new gameplay elements. They basically said that this game's bigger than Borderlands 1, but not as big as Borderlands 2. So to me, it's just like a big expansion pack to Borderlands 2, which I'm alright with that. More Borderlands.
Yeah, I'm always okay with more Borderlands.
Exactly. So, what's just your overall thoughts and reaction to this? Like, how do you feel about pre-sequel? It's set between Borderlands 1 and 2, so,
See,
how do you feel about that?
I have apprehension towards things like this because the last time that a lot of spin-off games were put out after a second game, I was waiting, or I'm still currently waiting over 10 years for Kingdom Hearts 3, so I could see it. They'd be like, oh, Borderlands 3 is going to come, and then it's just so many spin-off after spin-off after spin-off, and I'm like, even though I don't doubt, I doubt that they would do that, but just because of the past history. But it's a cool game. Handsome Jack's a great character to want to see more of, and I think the new gameplay elements are cool. I don't know if it's enough to warrant an entirely brand new game, but I hope it's not $60 though. That's my thing. I hope it's only like $40.
Yeah, I don't think Gearbox is the type to be like, hey, we're gonna do Borderlands 3, but here's 7 other games first.
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying, the last time that happened, it was like, oh no.
yeah, I'm excited about some of the new gameplay elements. I'm glad they're giving us 4 new classes. And I don't think Gearbox should price this at $60. Mainly because it is on 360, PS3, and PC. Which PC, maybe they could charge $60 for because PCs are changing all the fucking time. But, putting it on technically last-gen consoles, you're not going to get you might not get the big blockbuster sales.
But then again, if it's last gen, they kind of need to get as much money as they can out of each sale because not as many people might have it anymore, so they might keep it at 60.
This is true.
Then my reasoning of why they shouldn't price it at 60 is they're really not changing that much.
Yeah.
They're kind of taking the size down, adding a few new things, but you watching the gameplay, you look at like the menus, your health and shields, your experience bar, the weapon stuff, everything is exactly the same. So they're not even recoding that.
Yeah.
So they're not changing a whole lot, but I see what you're saying, and I agree with you guys that it shouldn't be $60.
Yeah.
So.
I'm excited about some of the new classes. They look very interesting. Like
I'm just wondering how different can they make some of them though? I guess the lawmaker. I don't know. See, that's the thing.
The lawmaker is technically the sheriff from Borderlands 2.
But I was just thinking, like, what can make her different? Otherwise, by the picture, it looks like she can maybe dual-wield guns, but what makes her different than, like, the Gunzerker? I don't know, it's just...
I don't know, I haven't seen any gameplay of the lawmaker.
I think, there's been very little gameplay. I'm just worried about that, like, how different are these classes? The only the person that I see being greatly different is Claptrap. That's just because he's the wild card.
You get to play as a Claptrap. You are not the Claptrap.
I thought I heard there was the Claptrap.
Oh, I'm sure the Claptrap is going to be in the game because he's a huge character in the Borderlands universe. But you get to play as a Claptrap unit, nicknamed the Frag Trap.
I'm pretty sure I heard that it's supposed to be the Claptrap unit.
Not the intergalactic ninja assassin Claptrap.
Maybe that's why he hates Handsome Jack so much.
Well, I mean, there was the new Robot Revolution DLC for the original Borderlands, but yeah.
Man, this is thought. I mean, that's just what I heard.
Athena, or what's her name?
She was from Borderlands 1, right?
She was a character in the General Knox DLC, I believe.
Yeah.
But it looked like her class ability is the shield, which acts very defensive, but you can also throw
it's
it.
very Titanfall inspired.
It's very Captain America.
You can kind of like catch the bullets and throw them back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can throw it like Captain America.
Yeah.
Looks pretty cool.
And then there's Wilhelm before he's a giant fucking robot. So that should be cool too. But, I mean, I do have the same concern as Keith. You know, how different are these going to be from all the other Borderlands classes?
Well, when you think about it, the soldier in the first Borderlands had a turret. The commando in the second Borderlands had a turret.
That's what I mean. It's just, I mean, they just kind of renamed it. It's like, oh, you got 4 new classes. 4 new class names. And then they're kind of the same. Maybe a slightly different ability, because I'll admit that like, you look at the Berserker versus the Gunzerker. I mean, yeah, it's a different ability, but I mean, like, if it still kind of plays the same, that's just what I'm worried about. I consider a new class not just maybe giving a new ability. I consider, like, a whole new way to play.
Now, hopefully the skill trees is kind of what makes them all different, you know?
Yeah.
How you can get these really just absolutely tits abilities, you know? Maybe when you catch some bullets and throw them back, they all turn into mini nuclear explosions or something.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but that would be awesome.
Or, I mean, another aspect we haven't really discussed yet is oxygen.
Yeah.
They added oxygen as a resource.
In the whole low gravity thing.
Yeah. Because you're on the moon, so there's no atmosphere.
Yeah.
So low gravity, you get typical low gravity physics. You get to jump higher and farther.
Yeah.
And then you use oxygen as a resource, although I don't know how that's really going to apply to Claptrap.
I mean, oxygen is just a weird thing. I can see that. I don't know, unless it's more so because it wasn't in the original Borderlands. That just seems almost more just like a hindrance to throw in, like.
If they make it work right, you know,
Yeah.
Like,
it could be.
Well, you
but
can
if
use
you're
oxygen.
like hunting to try to get oxygen a lot, I'm like, it'd be like,
Yeah, then that
This
would
could be a
Well, you also use oxygen to power like double jumps, and you get like a jetpack sort of thing.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll kind of see where that goes.
Now, there's new weapon types. There's now lasers
And cryo.
and cryo, which is cool. It's cool. Yeah, I always thought the whole different ammo types was something that was very unique about Borderlands. It was always cool
Yeah.
how they all work differently against certain enemies. So adding another one, I think, is pretty cool.
Now the cryo guns seem very much like the cryo ammunition from Mass Effect, where you hit them enough times, it eventually will freeze them solid, and then you can basically smash them to pieces.
Yeah.
I don't know how the laser is actually going to kind of interact. with
I
them
can see
well.
the laser maybe being more effective against like machines, maybe or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about the only thing I could think of.
Or maybe the lasers have, because there are precision things, having like a higher critical hit ratio or something like that.
Maybe.
I just hope some of the higher end like lasers are just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Like Borderlands 2, I feel really stepped up the game in terms of just absolutely insane weaponry that you get at the higher levels.
Borderlands has always
So-
been gun porn.
Yeah, and
I'm sure it will be.
yeah, and shooting and getting new weapons, it's kind of one of the focuses of Borderlands. It's very Diablo-like in that nature. So I hope there's a lot of cool stuff. One thing that I hope is good. Borderlands 2 had an excellent story. It was very good. I hope the story here is just as good. But then, I'm also very happy with this. One reason why I'm just kind of excited for this game is that they're expanding the Borderlands 2 universe. Because Borderlands 1 didn't really have a story. Borderlands 2 had an excellent story, and it seems like they're just going to keep building on that. Handsome Jack's one of the greatest villains ever in my mind. So, it's cool that they're building on that, and then also with the Tales from the Borderlands that'll be coming out, I think later this year, early next year or something. It's just cool that they're expanding the Borderlands universe now in terms of just a story and stuff. So
my only worry is that, and it happens with even in like movies or games, it's anytime you do anything that's somewhat of a prequel,
you know how it's going to end.
I know, and it's just like, I don't know. I hope that it's a really hard thing to live up to, because you have to take what people know will happen and still make it like a shocker, and that's really hard, if not nearly impossible to do.
Well, we also don't know how far before Borderlands 2 this actually happened.
If this is a prequel dealing with Handsome Jack, you at least get to see him go batshit crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it is dealing with Handsome Jack's rise to power within the Hyperion Corporation, but I forget how much time actually elapsed between Borderlands and Borderlands 2.
Yeah, I forget too. So
I think it was a couple years.
Yeah. Now, with this game, and even though Tales from the Borderlands isn't necessarily published by like 2K or made by Gearbox, and neither is this game, but Gearbox has their hand in both. Do you think Borderlands is getting a little too milked right now? Because Borderlands 2 was such a success. Do you feel that it's good? Or
I feel like it's good that it's good that they're keeping the content out there, in terms of like, especially like how the game's been out for a year and a half,
2012,
and they just now put out what I think they said is the final DLC for it.
Yeah,
so that's
their support for that game was amazing. So,
but and then also I think it's good. Tales from the Borderlands is a good thing because it's a completely different. But this, like I said, they kind of have to do it right, the pre-sequel, otherwise it's going to be redundant, and I'm just going to be like,
and
what's the point?
And my concern with that is, and kind of looping back to Tyler about the story, the writer for Borderlands 2, which I believe was Randy Pitchford, who was also the head of the development of the game, is not either fully involved or not really involved at all with the writing for the pre-sequel, which concerns me, but then again, it's after having played it enough times, it seems really hard to fuck up the writing for a good Borderlands game.
I'd say it might be just a nice, almost breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Breathe new life into it, so.
Yeah.
I say they're not really milking it if Borderlands 3 ends up being the next title that they put out.
If they put out another game, then I'm just gonna...
I don't want a Borderlands 2.5. You know,
Borderlands
the
3.
after sequel
or
some shit. I want full out Borderlands 3 after this. So
I don't want to
yeah.
see the pre-sequel, which is actually the game that leads up. The pre-sequel 2, which is the lead up to Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
Kind of like you said in the beginning, I don't want Borderlands to be kind of Kingdom Hearts-ified, I guess.
Yeah.
Where, you know, you just want the third game so badly, but instead you get like 5 or 6 fucking sequels.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, or...
While they may be good, you know...
It's not what we really want.
Yeah. So...
I mean, I'd say right now, if this is all they're really doing for the moment to expand the Borderlands mythos, they're not milking it. As long as they do it well. And as long as the next official sequel is Borderlands 3.
Yeah. I would agree to that.
So... Any thoughts? Will you buy this game?
Probably. Actually, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'll buy this game, but I don't know if I'll buy it right away if it comes out at $60.
For me, it depends on the
Price.
pre-order, the price and the pre-orders.
Yeah.
Like, if the pre-orders are pretty fucking sweet, then I'm definitely going to try to pick this up at launch if I can.
Borderlands 2 had some cool things.
Yeah, Borderlands 2, you got the into the Premier Club, which gave you some cool loot right off the bat, and gave you access to some...
Necromancer.
Yeah, it gave you access to the Necromancer early. Well, not early, but you got it free when it came out.
Cool.
And then you had, stuff that carried over.
Yeah. Alright. So let us know your thoughts on Borderlands, the pre-sequel. Hopefully we'll review that game eventually when it comes out. See you later. Fucking
Blaze it
damn
and praise it.
Yeah.